Hey everyone, welcome to this post-Memorial Day weekend vlog. It is Tuesday the 28th of May 2013, and it was very interesting. Uh, I'll say this, it was a very interesting Memorial Day weekend. Very interesting. In fact, I could say this month itself, has kind of been interesting. As we all know, of course, Memorial Day is basically not just a time to celebrate what our troops have done for us, but it's also, in many people's perspective, the official kickoff to summer vacation. Now, even though summer really doesn't start till midway next month, into the mid part of next month, it's still basically, in many people's eyes, the official kickoff of summer, that being Memorial Day. But what was funny about this is we had two back-to-back barbecues, if you know what I mean. We had one here in Paterson at my sister's, as well as we had another one here in Paterson at my pastor's house. The one we had at my sister's was on Sunday. And it's basically the family getting together, and I guess my mom used the rest of the creme brulee creamer. But anyway, it was just the family getting together, just to celebrate the Memorial Day, kick off the summer, if you will. Now, as I mentioned in my special TGIF, hold on for a second. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, the bird likes to make noise. I don't know why. If it's not the bird, it's the phone. If it's not the phone, it's the bird. Or it's the doorbell. I don't know anymore. But anyway, like I said, we spent family time and everything, and what's funny about, so we spent time, just basically family time and everything. We also spent time with my niece, who's going to be 21 in August, on Saturday as well as Sunday as well. We went to her new house that she's moved into been at for the past, I don't know how many months now. And it's really nice. Probably the best choice her and her boyfriend's family has made for a while. So, pray to God that they stay in there and don't have nothing else to worry about. Anyway, yeah, we did that this Saturday, and then, like I said, Sunday we did a barbecue, and everything. Actually, going back to Saturday, I should say, we spent time with her. We bought her some Taco Bell. We bought some Taco Bell for ourselves, and we took her to work. And then we thought, okay, we gotta go pick her up because she might be off at her regular time or early. Well, she got off early. And she texts us on our phone saying I need to be picked up. And we're thinking, okay, we'll pick her up. She texts us again and says, no, my friend and co-worker who lives in Patterson as well will take me home. Then she texts us again and says, well, change of plans, you guys got to come get me. My co-worker and friend has to stay and work a table and possibly the bar. So we basically go and end up getting her. But then, like I said, on Sunday, we went to church, and then we went to my sister's for a barbecue, for Memorial Day Sunday barbecue, if you know what I mean. And here's what was unique about it. Here's what was kind of unique about it. My mom had to use my sister's her Fit vehicle, her Fit car, F-I-T. Had to use her car basically to go to Modesto, get my other sister and her family and bring them here. The only thing was, if I'd known, if they and my mom would have known, oh, my recent high school graduated nephew wasn't going to come, you know, I could have gone with her and all that, but that wasn't the case. So anyway, she goes and gets some. My other sister goes to the local Mexican store here in town to get some last minute supplies. And I'm wondering, okay, what's taking them so long? I mean, I know they went to the store and everything, and I'm thinking, okay, what's taking them so long? So I text, and as soon as I text, or not text, but as soon as I call, that's when they show up. And what's ironic is, and I'm sorry for that pause there, brief pause, just thinking, but what's ironic about this is my brother-in-law, my second older sister's husband, is driving the car instead of my mom. And I think I can understand why. You see, my mom is basically a very careful driver. Let's put it this way. She's very careful. She does, okay, it's like, okay, well, and when we go to one of my sister's places, or even my grandma's place, if you will, we go to one of those places. You know, if we go to one of those places, she will basically, she's driving, she will do this. It's like, we'll park up right next to the sidewalk, or even in the driveway if we can. And, you know, we'll think, okay, we're in perfect position. We're in perfect position. But then here's what happens. She'll look, best thing, and there's no problem with this, but this gets a little annoying at times, even though there's no problem. She'll look and she'll, okay, let me check, let me back up a little bit, let me go forward a little bit, let me do this, let me do that. Basically what my mom does is what I like to dub as the perfect park. And, hey, when you have a Class A something or Class something license for being a bus driver and taking defensive driving classes, I guess you can't really blame her for doing that, because even though she's not a bus driver, it's basically like, you know, riding a bike. You never forget. It's in your system now. It's basically part of your repertoire. You know what I mean? So yeah, she's a very careful driver, but my sisters also indicate that when she's driving, it's kind of like, okay, Mom, you could go a little faster. No, I'm gonna do it the right way. Do. You know, it's like, okay, the speed limit could be 65 or 70, right? She will go she'll go a little like 2 to 5 miles below that, which is always why lately at times my sisters will either say, okay, my older sister here in Patterson will either be like, well, probably, I'm guessing she'll let her husband know this, or kind of give hints around to him that, like, be like, okay, if you're going to drive, you better rest up a little bit. Because here's the thing. When they drink, and I drink, had our share, if you know what I mean. My mom is usually the designated driver for the car, for the vehicle. And it's like, okay, that's cool. But there are times when one of them will rest a little bit while the other's drinking. And the reason for this is because they don't want to, they don't want to, kind of take their time getting home. They want to get home, get straight to bed, get straight in the shower and all that. A good example was Thursday. My sister had a little one too many, if you know what I mean. Me, I had maybe a Corona and a half, if you will, and maybe 2 Bud Lights, and that was it. Not like Sunday, though. Woo! But anyway, my brother-in-law rested a little bit, and he drove back, basically, the rest of the way. And I'm thinking, okay, he's going to drink. It looked like he was going to have too much and everything, but I think, honestly, my older sister always has a bit of a plan. Like, okay, she wants to get home because Friday, my 9-year-old nephew had to go to a swim party. His school was going to take him to the local pool here for a swim party. So So basically, my sister's thinking, and I'm honestly thinking this, realizes, okay, if my mom drives, we're not going to get home until a little almost after 12:30, because that's how they look at it. They kind of look at my mom when she drives slow, like, okay, Mom, you're driving way too slow. We need to get home so we can get to bed. But anyway, long story short, my brother-in-law does rest up and does drive us home. But again, my mom could have easily done that, but it's more along the lines of, I think lately they've not been taking any chances with her driving because she doesn't go as quick as they would like her to. And again, it's nothing wrong with that. Nothing's wrong with that. But this does also kind of prove my point of what I was talking about. You see, my mom went to go get my second older sister and her family, but my second older sister's husband, my brother-in-law, was the one that drove back, and here's why. They went to Costless, and I think because my second older sister wanted to spend as much time as she could on Sunday out here, visiting and enjoying the food and all that, she decided, you know what? She probably decided, okay, we'll have my husband drive back. That way, Mom, you can rest, and we can get there in plenty of time. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's basically, obviously, in my opinion, what happened. So anyway, we spend time there, and I think I had my share of beer. I don't know how many cans I had. I think maybe 8 or 10. But what was funny is it didn't affect me. And here's why. I had 2 corn dogs and 2 El Monterey spicy picante burritos. And then we got over there. I had a few beers. Then we had the food. We had the barbecue food. We had the ribs and the burgers and stuff. And I had more beer, and it kind of helps out, balances it out. Basically, the beer and stuff not the beer, but the food and stuff absorbs the beer. It absorbs the beer. So basically, it allows you to kind of get that buzz on, if you know what I mean. It kind of lets you get that buzz on. If you know what I mean. But it's not as effective. I mean, yeah, I had a bit of a headache. Waking up in the middle of the night and having to shower a few times the next day, but that was about it. And then yesterday, speaking of barbecues, we went to my pastor's for a barbecue, Memorial Day barbecue, and also to say farewell, well, not totally farewell, but just kind of give a farewell celebration, to two church members that are going to be leaving. We're going to be leaving to move back to Arizona to be with family and friends. So it was also a bit of a barbecue for a church friend as well. That's a missionary. It's kind of him and his family are like a missionary family, and they got this little thing going. And that's kind of worked out of New Orleans. So anyway, he was there too. And we took my 9-year-old nephew and everything, because I guess he didn't want to go around town here, which my older sister and her husband, because they had to get supplies for this Saturday for the Apricot Fiesta, because their business and vehicles representing their business are going to be in the parade, which I will also be in as well, because they need somebody along with some other people to hand out, bags and all that. So, and that was a garbage truck or something going by. But they need somebody to hand out bags or something. So I'll be helping with that. My mom's going to be driving, obviously, the little bubble van to represent as well. Anyway, like I said, we went to do that, and then when my nephew got dropped off, and he got to play the Wii a little bit before we left, this was watch a little bit of SpongeBob. I guess he likes to have I don't know. That's just what he does. And then after the barbecue, I'm thinking, okay, we're going to drop him back off at home because that was the plan. But then he says he wants to come here and play the Wii for a little bit. So I'm thinking, okay, we're going to bring him, let him go play the Wii. I'm thinking, okay, we're going to let him go play the Wii. So we tried calling my sister to let her know what's going on. We finally get in contact with her, and my sister's like, well, wait a minute, Mom said she was going to bring him back afterwards. And and she's kind of like, okay, it's fine, but she said she'd bring him back afterwards, So she was okay if he played some games and all that. And my mom says, okay, he's got till 7 o'clock to play the game. And I'm thinking, 7 o'clock he get maybe 3 or 4 Mario Striker Charge matches in, right? Here's what happens. My mom goes over here to the couch, puts her feet up, and starts falling asleep. And as soon as she started doing that, I said to myself, she ain't going to be taking him by 7. It's going to be afterwards. And I was right. It was mainly around 7:30. And true, me and my mom got into an argument about that, and it's just one of those pity arguments, doesn't mean anything, kind of like pitiful, shouldn't even been started, kind of like our arguments. Because basically I told her I'm a little bit more detailed about things. It's like, okay, if you're going to do it, if you say, oh, we're going to do something at 7, we're going to do something at 7. Not like, oh, well, we'll do something, but we'll do it, at this time. She basically says not everything's set in stone, which is true. But, again though, because people like me and my sisters at times, I can tell that with my sisters, and my other relatives, are detailed in certain ways to where you have to, if you say you're going to be there at a certain time, you need to be there, or you're going to do something at a certain time, you need to do it. You need to kind of stand by what you say. And my mom, she does do that, but the thing is, it's more like when she sees an opportunity, when she sits down on that couch and puts her feet up, she sees an opportunity to close her eyes. I mean, I told my mom honestly, and like I said, in this argument, which was pitiful, shouldn't have happened and all that, I basically said that if you would have mentioned 7 or maybe at the latest 7:30 because I might fall asleep, or something like at 7, or if I fall asleep until after I wake up, then fine, I would have understood that act, you know, I would have understood that better. I would have been like, okay, she fell asleep. She'll probably take him after she wakes up, because that's what she said. But she didn't. She said 7. My thought process was, okay, she's going to fall asleep. She's going to be asleep for a while. My sister might call, wondering what's going on. They're going to have to come pick him up, which my mom honestly wouldn't have minded if that happened. I can tell you honestly. But anyway, she did take him home, and like I said, the argument was pitiful and all that. It shouldn't have happened, should have been started. We both forgave each other. And it was just something that came, I think, mainly because he wanted to come back and play the Wii when we were supposed to take him home. You see, in all honesty, if my mom knew, and she probably did, she was going to relax a little bit while he was here playing the Wii for about half hour or so, if not a little more. She knew she was going to come home and fall asleep, because that's what she told him. She said, I want to go home and rest. That's why I want to take you home. She knew she was going to rest anyway. She should have just done what she said. It would have been end of story. But hey, can't win them all, you know? Can't win them all. But, so anyway, like I said, very interesting Memorial Day weekend, I will point it that way. She did take him home and all that. And I tried to record Monday Night Raw last night, but for some odd reason it would not record. It was copy protected. I don't know if it's because of Memorial Day edition or what, or if it was in Calgary, I don't know. But it was copy protected, which was weird. So, anyway, that's really all that happened, and over this Memorial Day weekend, and I hope you all had a good one, and that's all I'm going to say on it. And so, till next time, God bless, take care, and I will talk to you all later. Peace out, and I'm out.